The galaxy was quiet. For centuries, stars burned, planets turned, and alien empires stretched across the cosmos. They fought small wars, made alliances, and sometimes destroyed each other's colonies. But no one noticed Earth. No one cared about humans. To them, humans were tiny, weak, and unimportant. The stories told about humanity were filled with laughter and mockery. Primitive creatures, some aliens said. They cannot even leave their own solar system properly. On Earth, humans watched the stars quietly. They did not argue or fight like the other empires. They did not seek attention. But in this silence, something powerful was growing. Deep under the oceans, in hidden asteroid fields, and inside massive underground cities, humans were building. They were building things that no alien could imagine, things so large that one could call them planets in motion. Commander Alara Voss stood on the edge of a massive launch platform. She looked at the ship before her, the Titanus. It was enormous. Its surface glimmered like polished metal in the artificial lights. The hull stretched for hundreds of kilometers, its engines humming with a quiet, dangerous power. Humans had spent decades designing it. Every piece, every system, every weapon was the result of countless years of secret research. And now, it was alive. Alara's heart was heavy. She felt proud, but also afraid. If the galaxy ever knew, she whispered to her assistant, a young engineer named Jaren, they would never forget us again, but I fear they might only come for war. Jaren nodded, his eyes wide. He had grown up hearing stories of aliens mocking humans, of wars humans had avoided, and now he realized that humans were no longer weak. "We're ready, Commander," he said quietly. "We have waited so long." The crew of the Titanus moved silently through the corridors. Each human had trained for decades, learning to control weapons no other species had ever seen, to pilot ships that could dwarf moons, and to survive in the vacuum of space for months at a time. They were not just sailors, they were guardians. Every human knew that the galaxy underestimated them, and every human knew it would be their duty to prove the galaxy wrong if the time came. Above them, in the orbit of Earth, satellites blinked and watched, hidden from alien eyes. Human scientists monitored distant stars and fleets, always alert. They had learned patience. They knew the galaxy would not notice them. The alien empires were too proud, too arrogant, too certain of their own importance, and that arrogance was exactly what humans needed. Alara walked to the observation deck. The stars stretched endlessly in every direction. It was beautiful, silent, and terrifying. She thought of the wars she had read about in alien histories, empires rising and falling, billions dying in moments of arrogance and pride. She thought of her people, small in number compared to the alien civilizations, yet stronger than any enemy could guess. She whispered a promise to the stars. "We will be ready. We will protect our home, and when the time comes, they will see what humans can do." Below, deep inside the hidden factories, the humans continued their work. Ships even larger than the Titanus were being constructed in secret. Each one was a city, a fortress, a weapon beyond imagination. The galaxy believed it slept. It believed humans were weak and harmless. But humanity's engineers, scientists, and warriors worked tirelessly, knowing that one day the galaxy would awaken, and humans would be ready. As night fell over Earth, a small boy looked up at the stars and whispered, "One day we will reach the stars. One day we will be strong." No one else heard him, but the promise was not for others, it was for humanity itself. And in that quiet, hidden determination, the true power of humans began to grow. The galaxy slept, unaware that a storm was forming in silence. The Titanus was only the beginning. Far beyond Earth, hidden in the dark reaches of the galaxy, humanity's secret fleet grew. Ships larger than moons, stronger than any fortress, and armed with weapons no alien could even imagine were being built in silence. Humans had learned the greatest secret of survival: patience. While the galaxy fought its small wars, humans prepared for the moment they would no longer be ignored. Commander Alara Voss walked through one of the massive corridors of the Titanus. The walls hummed with energy, glowing softly, illuminating the hundreds of crew members moving quickly but quietly. Every person on board carried the weight of humanity's future. Every glance, every step, every command was carefully measured. Ilara knew that the eyes of the universe could be anywhere, watching and waiting, and one mistake could ruin everything. "Commander," Jaren said, approaching with a data tablet in his hands. "The next wave of ships will be ready for deployment soon. The Leviathan and the Colossus are fully operational." He paused, his voice barely above a whisper. "We are becoming unstoppable." Ilara nodded, but her expression remained serious. "Jaren," she said softly, "we are powerful, yes. But remember, power without control can destroy us as easily as it destroys others. Our strength is our patience, our planning, and our unity. Never forget that." In the hidden factories, massive construction bays stretched for miles. Thousands of engineers, pilots, and soldiers worked tirelessly, often for months without seeing sunlight or Earth. Some were born in space stations, never knowing the surface of their home planet. Yet every person shared the same dream: to protect humanity, to ensure that no one would ever underestimate them again. Each ship was unique. The Titanus was the leader, the heart of the fleet. The Leviathan could crush planets with a single strike, and the Colossus could travel through multiple dimensions in moments. Together, they formed a network of unmatched power. And yet humans did not build them for domination. They built them for survival, for defense, and for the promise of a future free from fear. Ilara often visited the training decks, watching. New recruits learned to operate the massive weapons, navigate the intricate systems, and survive in the harshest conditions. She felt a deep pride. These humans were small compared to alien empires, but they were intelligent, determined, and fearless. They had something no other species had: a will that refused to be broken. As she walked across the observation deck of the Titanus, Ilara stared at the stars and thought about the galaxy's arrogance. Every empire thought they were the strongest. Every council believed humanity was too small to matter. They laughed at the tiny fleets Earth sent to their borders. They ignored the subtle signs of humanity's growth, and that ignorance, Ilara knew, would be their greatest mistake. At night, in the quiet moments, she sometimes felt the weight of the fleet's secret. If even one ship were discovered before it was ready, the galaxy would come crashing down on Earth. Millions of lives could be lost. And yet, despite the danger, she smiled softly. Humanity had endured wars, plagues, and countless challenges. They had survived because they were clever, adaptable, and united. And now, hidden in the shadows of the galaxy, they had built a force that no one could challenge. Ilara placed her hand on the railing and whispered to the stars, "We are ready. We have built in silence, trained in shadow, and now we wait. When the time comes, the galaxy will see humans not as weaklings, but as guardians, as a force no one can ignore." And far from Earth, hidden among asteroid fields and gas giants, the human fleet slept, massive and silent. The galaxy believed it was safe. It believed humanity was still small and harmless. But the truth was different. Humanity was awake. Humanity was growing. And when the time came, humans would rise like a storm, powerful, unstoppable, and unforgettable. Far across the galaxy, the alien empires were restless. Wars erupted on distant planets, fleets collided in spectacular battles, and the Galactic Council met endlessly to discuss strategies. Among them, humans were barely a thought, a small, weak species living on a blue planet at the edge of the Milky Way. To the Council, Earth was a curiosity, not a threat. "They cannot even leave their solar system properly," Lord Zyron, a Thrin noble, declared during a council meeting. "We need not worry about humans. They are harmless." The scouts of the Zorath, a warlike empire known for its ruthless conquests, were the first to notice the subtle energy signatures near Earth. Their sensors recorded unusual fluctuations, massive heat outputs and strange gravitational distortions. They reported this to the council expecting panic or investigation. Instead, they received laughter. "Humans, they hide nothing of importance," said the councilors dismissively. "Do not waste resources investigating them. Their fleets are small, primitive, and irrelevant." Meanwhile, on Earth, Commander Alara Voss studied the reports from her long-range sensors. Her brow furrowed as she watched the movements of alien fleets. She had spent decades predicting this moment, the moment when the galaxy would underestimate humanity for the last time. "They are arrogant," she said softly to Jaren, who stood beside her. "They do not see the storm coming. They think we sleep." The humans had anticipated every possibility. They had measured the strength of the Zorath fleets, mapped the patrol routes of countless alien empires, and calculated every weakness. The secret factories on distant moons continued their work, building new warships, refining weapons, and preparing crews. Every human involved understood the delicate balance. Exposure too early could bring annihilation. Patience could give them unstoppable power. Ilara walked through the command bridge of the Titanus, her eyes scanning the holographic displays. Each blinking light represented potential danger, but also opportunity. She paused at a map showing the nearest alien patrols. "Let them move freely," she whispered. "Let them think we are small, weak, and harmless. The more they laugh at us, the greater their surprise will be when they face the truth." The crew worked silently, each person aware of their role in the grand design. Engineers monitored hyperweapon energy levels, pilots trained in zero-gravity combat drills, and communication officers decrypted alien signals in real time. Humans had become masters of preparation, patience, and precision, and all of this was invisible to the galaxy at large. Even Jaren, young and eager, felt the tension. "Commander, what if they discover us before we are ready?" he asked quietly. His voice trembled, betraying a mix of fear and excitement. Ilara placed a reassuring hand on his shoulder. "Then we fight. But remember this, we do not build to be reckless. We build to survive, to protect our home, and to make sure no one ever mocks humanity again. If they see us now, it will be too late for them." As night fell over Earth, the surface below glimmered with city lights, oblivious to the vast hidden fleet lying beyond their skies. The ordinary humans went about their lives unaware that their species had become the most powerful force in secret. Children dreamed of exploring the stars. Teachers spoke of science and discovery, and yet in the darkness above, humanity's guardians waited. The galaxy had grown arrogant. It had forgotten the lessons of history, that small things can hold great power, and that patience is often more dangerous than brute force. And in that arrogance lay its vulnerability. Humans had seen it, measured it, and waited for it. Ilara looked out at the stars one last time that night. Her voice was almost a whisper, carried only by the silence of the command deck. "They think we are weak. They think we sleep. They do not know that while the galaxy dreamed, humanity built a power it cannot even imagine. And one day soon, they will learn the truth." The silence of the galaxy shattered one morning. From the distant edges of human space, the Zorath fleet appeared, a massive armada of thousands of warships, moving with confidence and arrogance. They believed Earth was still weak, that humans would surrender without a fight. They thought the rumors of human warships were myths, stories spread by nervous scouts, but the universe was about to witness a truth they could never have imagined. Commander Ilara Voss stood on the bridge of the Titanus, her eyes scanning the approaching fleet. The stars themselves seemed to tremble under the weight of the enemy armada. The humans had anticipated this moment for decades, but even so, a strange chill ran down her spine. "They came faster than expected," she whispered, "but they are too arrogant to see what awaits them." Her crew moved like a single organism, their actions synchronized from years of training. Pilots checked their consoles, weapon officers calibrated the hypercannons, and engineers monitored the ship's massive energy cores. Every human aboard the Titanus understood what was at stake. This was not just a battle, it was a revelation. Humanity would show the galaxy its true strength, and there would be no mercy for those who underestimated them. As the Zorath drew closer, a ripple of disbelief spread through their fleet. Sensors began to pick up objects emerging from the shadows of nearby gas giants, asteroids, and hidden wormholes. The Titanus and other human ships revealed themselves, massive and gleaming under distant starlight. Ships the size of small moons, hovered like titans ready to strike. Alien commanders stared at their screens, unable to believe what they saw. Their arrogance had blinded them. Humans were not weak, they were unstoppable. Alara gave the order, "Fire everything." In an instant, the darkness of space lit up with beams of unimaginable energy. Hypercannons tore through alien ships like paper, while gravitational bombs twisted the very fabric of space, pulling enemy vessels apart. Entire squadrons disintegrated before they could react. The Zorath fleet, confident and proud moments, before now faced chaos and destruction they could not comprehend. Despite the overwhelming power around her, Alara felt a deep sorrow. She watched as ships disintegrated and with them thousands of lives, both enemy and unintended collateral. "I never wanted this," she whispered to Jaren, who stood beside her trembling, "but they forced our hand." Jaren nodded silently, his eyes reflecting both fear and awe. The human fleet moved with precision, striking only where necessary, avoiding planetary systems, and targeting military installations with deadly accuracy. Each attack was calculated, efficient, and merciless in execution. Humanity had built these warships not for conquest, but to defend their home, to show the galaxy that mockery and arrogance had consequences. Across the command bridge, crew members cheered quietly as one alien ship after another fell, but Alara remained calm, her gaze fixed on the stars. Victory had been won in moments, yet the weight of responsibility pressed heavily on her heart. This was only the beginning. The galaxy had seen a glimpse of humanity's wrath, and it would never be the same again. By the time the Zorath survivors retreated into the far reaches of space, whispers of fear and disbelief rippled through the remaining alien empires. The legend of the human warships had begun. The galaxy, once arrogant and dismissive, now faced a new reality. Humans were no longer weak, and their patience had made them the deadliest force ever to awaken. Alara stood alone on the observation deck, watching the fading lights of the alien fleet. "They will remember this day," she said softly, tears forming in her eyes. "Not because we wanted war, but because we could not allow anyone to threaten our home. We have shown them what humanity truly is, and this is only the beginning." The news traveled faster than light. Even the farthest corners of the galaxy could not escape the whispers of what had happened near Earth. Entire fleets had been destroyed, in moments. The Zorath, once feared as merciless conquerors, had fled in chaos. Stories spread through every star system. A small, seemingly weak species had unleashed power beyond imagination. The galaxy that had laughed at humanity now trembled, in disbelief. On distant planets, alien leaders convened in emergency councils. Every empire, from the mighty Thrin to the secretive Valar, felt a chill of fear. "How is this possible?" one elder demanded. "They were supposed to be weak. Their fleets are tiny compared to ours." Another whispered, voice shaking, "If humans can do this in secret, what else have they been hiding?" Meanwhile, in the human fleet, Commander Alara Voss watched the galaxy's reaction unfold through secure communications. Her crew buzzed with cautious energy. This was the moment humanity had waited for, but it was also a delicate balance. Showing power could bring fear, but unnecessary cruelty could destroy the chance for peace. Alara walked across the bridge of the Titanus, looking at her crew. "We have made our presence known," she said softly. "The galaxy now knows humans are not weak. They will think twice before mocking us. But remember, our strength is a shield, not a weapon to dominate. We must be wise in what comes next." Jaren, still young but hardened by the recent battle, looked at her. "Commander, They will want revenge. They will send more fleets. Are we ready? Alara placed a reassuring hand on his shoulder. We have prepared for every possibility. Let them come. Let them see that humans do not attack without reason. But when we defend our home, no force can stop us. Across Earth, the ordinary people continued their lives, unaware of the massive fleet hiding in nearby space. They slept, under the stars, believing in myths and fairy tales, not realizing that their species had just shown the galaxy its true face. For them, life continued as usual, but above their heads, humans had changed the universe forever. Alien messages poured in, some desperate, some fearful, some seeking peace. Entire governments sent envoys, begging for meetings, treaties, and dialogue. The arrogance that had defined the galaxy for centuries crumbled. The civilizations that once considered humans insignificant were now forced to reconsider everything they knew. Alara smiled faintly. They wanted to test us, she said. They wanted to see if humans could be ignored, and now they have seen the truth. The galaxy has felt our power, and they will remember it forever. But we show mercy not because we are weak, but because we are strong enough to control it. The human fleet remained in the shadows, silent guardians of Earth. Ships that could destroy planets were waiting, but they did not strike again. Humans had made their point. The galaxy had been shocked into respect. The lesson was clear. Arrogance and mockery had a price, and humans had paid it in patience and precision, not recklessness. Alara gazed at the stars one last time that day. We did not seek war, she whispered. We sought survival. But the universe needed to see that humans are not to be underestimated. Let them fear, let them respect, and let them remember. Humanity has awoken. Far across the cosmos, alien empires whispered of Earth. The name of humanity spread like a firestorm, carried by scouts, merchants, and diplomats alike. For the first time in history, the galaxy understood the truth. Humans were no longer weak, and the age of mockery was over. The galaxy was trembling, yet silent. Alien leaders, once arrogant and cruel, now feared humanity's wrath. Entire fleets had been destroyed. Systems had been spared only because humans chose to control their power. Not out of weakness, but out of wisdom. The moment had arrived when humanity could strike and dominate if they wanted. But Commander Alara Voss knew that was not their path. Alara stood on the bridge of the Titanus, gazing at the holographic maps of the galaxy. Red dots marked enemy fleets in retreat, and blue dots represented the hidden strength of humanity. She turned to her officers, her voice calm but filled with determination. We have the power to crush them, she said. We could take control of every system, every empire. But that is not who we are. Humanity does not seek conquest. We fight to protect, to defend, and to survive. Her words were met with nods and quiet murmurs of agreement. Every human on board had trained for this moment. They had mastered weapons that could destroy worlds, yet they had also learned discipline, restraint, and unity. For decades, humanity had waited, hidden, and grown. Stronger, now they were ready, but ready not for war but for justice. Jaren, young but wise beyond his years, approached her. Commander, are we sure mercy is the right choice? The galaxy may see it as weakness. Alara smiled gently, placing a hand on his shoulder. Mercy is not weakness, Jaren. True strength is knowing when to fight and when to show compassion. The galaxy must see that humanity is powerful, but we are not cruel. Let them respect us, not fear us blindly. The communication channels lit up with incoming messages. Alien envoys begged for parley, treaties, and protection. Some feared retaliation, while others admitted their arrogance and begged for forgiveness. Alara listened carefully to each message, her heart heavy with the weight of responsibility. Every word mattered. Every decision could shape the future of the galaxy. In the training halls of the Titanus and its sister ships, crew members paused from their drills. They had seen destruction, yet they understood the importance of restraint. The galaxy would remember their mercy as much as their power. Humanity was no longer a species to mock, but a force that demanded respect and a chance for peace. Alara addressed the entire fleet over a secure channel. Her voice echoed through every ship, calm and unwavering. We have shown the galaxy our strength. We have proven that humanity cannot be underestimated. Now we must show them that we are not just warriors, but guardians. We will protect those who deserve it, and we will strike only when necessary. This is our choice, and this is our promise. Far below, ordinary humans on Earth continued their lives, unaware of the silent guardians watching over them. Children dreamed of stars, scientists pursued discovery, and families lived in peace. Above them, the fleet waited, powerful beyond imagination, yet patient and restrained. Humanity's choice had ensured not only survival but hope, for themselves and for the galaxy. Alara gazed out at the endless stars, her eyes reflecting both the beauty and the burden of power. We did not awaken this storm for revenge, she whispered. We awakened it to protect, to teach the galaxy a lesson they will never forget, and yet, we will not become the destroyers they expect. Humanity will rise, but with wisdom. We are strong, but we are just. As the human fleet withdrew into hidden positions, the galaxy slowly began to understand the new reality. Aliens spoke in hushed tones about Earth, about the humans who had built planet-sized warships in secret, about the species that had emerged not only as powerful warriors, but as moral guardians. The legend of humanity had begun, and in that quiet moment, Commander Alara Voss allowed herself a brief smile. Humanity had shown the galaxy its strength, and now it would show its heart. The galaxy had changed forever. News of humanity's power and wisdom spread faster than any fleet could travel. From the smallest outposts to the grand halls of the Galactic Council, aliens whispered about the humans who had built planet-sized warships in secret, who had destroyed fleets without mercy but spared entire worlds, who had shown strength and restraint in equal measure. Commander Alara Voss stood on the observation deck of the Titanus, looking at the stars stretching endlessly across space. She felt a deep pride, but also a quiet sadness. The galaxy had awakened to humanity's power, but it had taken fear and destruction to make them see. She knew that the path forward would be delicate. Humanity had won respect, but now came the responsibility to guide it wisely. Below, the hidden, human fleet moved like silent giants returning to secret stations and deep space factories. Ships that could crush planets or bend stars remained hidden, their presence known only to those humans sworn to protect Earth. Every pilot, every engineer, every soldier carried the weight of the galaxy on their shoulders. They had fought. They had endured. And now they were guardians of a universe that had once dismissed them as insignificant. Alara turned to Jaren, who stood beside her, his eyes reflecting awe and hope. The galaxy will never underestimate humans again, he said quietly. Do you think they will ever forgive their arrogance? She smiled softly. Forgiveness is not ours to demand. Respect is earned by action. We have shown them who we are: strong, patient, and just. That is more powerful than fear alone. In the Galactic Council, ambassadors and leaders struggled to adapt. They had once laughed at Earth, considered humanity a minor nuisance, and dismissed their presence as irrelevant. Now they sought guidance, treaties, and alliances. They came cautiously, humbled by the demonstration of power and the mercy that followed. Humanity's quiet patience had turned into influence, not by domination, but by example. On Earth, ordinary humans continued their lives, unaware of how close they had come to annihilation, or how mighty their species had become. Children looked up at the night sky and dreamed of stars. Scientists studied distant galaxies, unknowingly inspired by hidden guardians watching over them. Families lived in peace, under the shadow of ships that no one could imagine. Humanity had awakened, yet it remained humble, protective, and vigilant. Alara walked to the bridge's railing, her eyes scanning the stars. "We are not conquerors," she whispered to the emptiness around her. "We are guardians. We are the protectors of life and the defenders of those who cannot defend themselves. Let the galaxy remember this. Humanity is awake, humanity is strong, and humanity will endure." The human fleet slowly vanished into hidden corridors of space, leaving only whispers of their power. Alien fleets hesitated before venturing too close to human systems. Trade routes were altered, councils reformed, and stories of the humans' patience and strategy spread across star systems. The galaxy had learned a lesson it would never forget. Mocking humanity was dangerous, underestimating it was deadly, and awakening its hidden strength could change the course of history. As the stars shimmered in the vast expanse, Commander Alara Voss allowed herself a moment of reflection. The warships, the secret fleets, the battles, they had all served a greater purpose. Humanity had shown the universe its strength, its heart, and its wisdom. The galaxy would never see humans the same way again. And somewhere, far across the cosmos, a small child looked at the night sky and whispered, "One day I want to see the stars." That innocent dream, shared by millions of children across Earth, now had a new meaning. Humanity had reached the stars, not just in travel, but in power, courage, and heart. The galaxy had awakened, and humanity would lead, not with fear, but with strength and justice. The stars burned brightly, as if acknowledging the rise of a new force. Humanity had slept no more. The galaxy would remember this day forever.